Show me the money! Show me the money!
Show me the money! Welcome back to the Show Me the Money podcast. The boys are back. It is Thursday night currently. We are actually watching our Bears, or at least we're going to start watching our Bears here any second. They start in 20 minutes?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
Way longer than that.
Yeah, it's
So-
like 40.
okay.
Started earlier.
New episode of Show Me the Money. We have, I don't know, this slate is kind of just okay, personally. And I think
Agreed.
everybody kind of feels the same. It's eh. But
I think it's like not the worst. You guys are acting like it's the slate
Mhm.
from like 3 weeks ago.
It's good to watch, hard to bet.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
that's what it is. That
It's gonna be a good watch, hard bet place. I think the books are sharp on their lines this week.
might
Agreed.
not be. They're closer to the end of the year. The lines ought to be tight. They ought to make you squirm a little bit.
I agree. But last week we did have another winning week. So if you bet our locks of the week, you went 4-2. Let's see. We have Tyler. You won with Penn State. Josh, Jesus Christ, did Air Force get their fucking ass kicked?
Yeah, man, 6 turnovers will do that to you. I don't know. That's you'll have that. We're probably gonna go back to the well this week, though. I still haven't decided on my lock, but it's the fighting They're playing the fighting Rainbows or whatever the fuck they call themselves over there in Hawaii. So
That's awesome.
It is Veterans Day on Saturday too, so they do got to show up.
Oh, that
They
might
do need to show up.
might need to bet on all of those military teams this weekend. I had Alabama as a win at -3 last week. Cole had Ohio State -18.5. Clark, you fucking missed with Notre Dame.
loser.
That game sucked. Parker was the only one that was not on Notre Dame, and it was purely because the guy hates Notre Dame. Has nothing to do with
Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Everything I've said has not been wrong.
It has nothing to do.
You guys are
with,
trying to
it
talk
has
me out
nothing
of
to do with the
Louisville, but-
ability, though. You picked them out of spite. That'd be like us.
Clemson's not a bad football team. Yes, they've lost some close ones, but they're not like a bad football team.
Oh, I think next year they're gonna be really good. They're a really young team this year. I think next
Exactly.
year they'll be really good.
I thought Clemson was a bad football team.
I mean, it just helps that Notre Dame
I
happened
thought-
to play a good team, so it would make it a little bit easier of a decision.
I didn't think Clemson was bad. I thought Notre Dame was better.
Same. And that single game cost me a 10-leg money line parlay. Speaking of money line parlays, round of applause for Parker reeling in damn near $900 over 2 parlays last week. Would have hit a third, but a single leg lost. This man got fat last weekend. Tell us about it, Parker.
Oh, what a day of sweat. I think I was up at 10 o'clock, Tyler? We were placing bets. And by 11:03, the first bead of sweat started to come down. And it didn't stop. Not for 1 second, not from 11 a.m. to 1:30 when the Arizona game finally ended. But we did it. 10 legs, money line parlay. I put a 5 on it to win 600. So that was nice. I had Texas to start us off.
That was an overtime sweat.
That was an overtime
game.
sweat. Mississippi, Ole Miss to beat Texas A&M. They kind of made it close. Tulane to beat East Carolina. Louisville to beat Tech. Penn State to beat Maryland. James Madison to beat Georgia State. Kansas to beat Iowa State. Washington to beat USC. Alabama to beat LSU. And Arizona to beat UCLA. And that was $5 to win a boatload of money. And then I had another free bet from my loss on Thursday night football game. So I rolled that over to a parlay so I could make something. I made this like super last minute. As always, if you're going to bet on Iowa, what do you bet?
The under.
The under. We took the under at 30.5 on that game. We took Penn State over Maryland again. California and Oregon to hit an over at 60.5. Washington to win by 2.5. Alabama to win and Fresno State to win, and that was a free $10 to win 230. So that was a great week, and it helped because Washington was my lock, which also hit this week. So
yeah, Parker was hammered at 1:30 in the morning. I got that call from him. I think everybody was up throughout the day though, and stayed up late to watch that one get cashed with him. I know Ethan, you were there to celebrate with him live.
Appreciate the boys to celebrate. You know,
I
hope we can keep it rolling.
That's them cats. Never in doubt.
It was a great hit.
Exactly.
Line.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to be there at the bar with Parker. Mostly because had it not been the daylight savings time, I would not have still been there. I had other things to do in the morning, so that 1 hour I didn't know anything about it until I got to the bar, and I was very happy to hear about it.
Yeah, and Ethan can attest. I didn't sit down one time. I was up, drinking, and moving.
Let's dive into this week's winners. Starting off, same as we do always. Rutgers is visiting number 22 Iowa. Now you guys are going to question, why did we say 22 Iowa? This week, all of our rankings are coming off of the CFP rankings, and Iowa is ranked by the playoff committee in that sense. So Iowa's 1.5 point favorites at home, and the over-under is 28.5, a historic low that I think we all agree is still going to go under. Whether you think this game's going under or not, and I promise you it is, you have to bet the under here just because it's historic. And we've said that every week, it seems, for the past 4 weeks. It's a new historic low. It's a new historic low. It's a new historic low. Well, this is the lowest of them all, 28.5. I have seen some solid 28s out there. I'm super excited to see this line. But I actually think on Saturday morning, this line is going to get hammered on the under so much that we see like last week where it went from 29.5 to 31.5. I think this line will probably go up as well, but I'll be on the under, and I don't want to say a piece about Rutgers or Iowa because I have rode Rutgers a lot this year, and Iowa is, the fan favorite. I will say it's hard to beat Iowa in Kinnick, but yeah, I'll just go ahead and say I'm taking the under on this game. I'm not going to pick a side. Clark, where are you going?
This is a tough game. 1.5. Well, you said 1.5 points here that Iowa has. It's I know Iowa can go out there and beat Rutgers by 1.5 points. I'm gonna take Iowa, and I like the under. Parker.
Yeah, boys. Like I said last week, if I'm betting money on Iowa, it's definitely going to be on the under, and that's it. I'm with you there, Tyler. Rutgers I was with them pretty big at the beginning of the season. They were nice to throw in there every now and then. They do have a decent offense, but like you said, it is hard to play in Kinnick, and this Iowa defense is going to have a long day. Let's just say that.
Here's the thing. Rutgers has got a defense of their own that's pretty stout. And I feel like both these teams being so good at defense, the under is a for sure thing. What I'm really worried about is over the last 3 games, Rutgers running back has averaged 140 yards the last 3 games. Granted, I know that's not his whole season total, but it's a good snippet of games to show that he's really got productive in the last few weeks. And that could be dangerous because we know Iowa can't do anything on offense. If this guy can go out and average 3 a carry or anything like that, they might be able to move the ball up and down the field against Iowa's defense. However, with that being said, I think it's going to be a fucking 12-6, 12-9 field goal game. I might bet this to under 21 just for the giggles of it because it would hit the last few weeks. Ethan, where are you at here?
Yeah, I love my Hawks. And the one thing I can count on them for over and over again is the under. So I'm gonna bet pretty heavily on that this weekend, I think. My one concern is as hard as it is for teams to beat Iowa inside of Kinnick, I think Rutgers is one of those teams this year that can do that. And it has nothing to do with the Iowa defense. It has everything to do with the Iowa offense. If they want to win this game, they cannot allow 2 touchdowns from Rutgers. Rutgers is allowed 1 touchdown, and if they do that, it's no field goals. So they have to keep points to the absolute bare minimum. Deacon Hill has to learn how to throw the ball forward, not just to the sides. And we'll have to see how Brian Ferentz's play calling at home does this weekend. It's the first game back in Kinnick since he announced his resigning. So it's going to be a rowdy environment for him in general, just because we don't know what it's going to be like after he resigns. Are the fans going to cheer? Are they going to boo? It's kind of up in the air.
They're going to boo.
Yeah, I think the boo birds. Yeah, Josh, where are you at with this game? I know you're on the under.
Oh yeah, 100% on the under. Honestly, if either team gets to double digits, I'm gonna be shocked. Like Tyler said, he might alt this to 21.5, and I might do that right with him. Did you say you were on Rutgers there? Did I hear that right, or did I go deaf and imagine?
I don't want to say I'm on Rutgers, but I don't trust Iowa to win. If I'm going to be honest,
crazy, because I will say I'm on Rutgers. Because hot take, Rutgers is just the better Iowa. Like they're both dog shit, but Rutgers is a little less doggy. They also cover a lot more games than Iowa covers. So yeah,
Rutgers. And I believe that 100%. Like I would not. I would not blame anybody for betting Iowa, and that's coming from somebody who went to Iowa themselves and enjoyed loving and watching those Hawkeyes, storm the field and every experience that you could possibly imagine. But this is one of those games where it's like, okay, here we go again.
Let's close our eyes and watch between our fingers.
This could be a Purdue game.
Yeah.
The lowest total we're finding anywhere is 22.5 at plus 200. Honestly, that doesn't feel like good enough odds to bet. Like if I'm gonna put a unit on that, I don't want 2 units back. I want at least 5 units back. So
I was thinking,
like if that's gonna be the line, probably don't take it. Probably just take the negative 110 or 115, whatever the straight bet is, and just go with that. But let's get out of the bottom awfulness of the bad side of the Big Ten. Let's go to the good side of the Big Ten. Probably one of the top 2 games this week, depending on how you look at the rest of the slate. Number 3, fraud of Michigan, with all their cheating, going into Happy Valley, playing number 10 Penn State. Clark, why don't you start us out on this one?
I'm pretty sure this might be 50-50 between us on this pick. And I think Michigan, they haven't proven to us they haven't played a great team yet. Penn State hasn't lost to Ohio State, but I'm still going to think that Michigan does not come into Happy Valley and cover this. I think PSU plus 4.5 is my pick.
I love that, Clark. I love it, Clark. Penn State University is a madhouse, and not that Michigan is not. You have the big house versus Penn State. Like inside of Penn State, I don't know, man. It's
an 11 a.m. game. It's not a night game.
Ooh, so no whiteout?
Oh, that is so disappointing.
They still might do a whiteout, but
yeah,
I don't know.
But it's a morning game
going on.
So I'm gonna guess this is the big noon game.
Yeah. It's the big noon game on Fox. Yeah,
which is disappointing. However, it is what it is. Man, those 11 a.m. games have beat my ass this year. I was 0 for last week on 11 a.m. games, to the point where if you had bet against me, you would have won even my parlays on every pick. So those 11 a.m. games kick my ass. I think I'm gonna go with Penn State to cover 4.5 though.
I will be the first to say I'm against you, and I don't like it. But with that being said, Michigan's all pissed off. Somebody put a snake in their boot, and that person was the Big Ten. Michigan is come out and they've filed all sorts of reports of like Big Ten can't punish us yet and blah, 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 and all this and that shit. Saying everybody's jealous of them. So I think they're going to try to come out against their first good opponent of the year and make a statement to everybody like, hey, we can steal your signs or we don't have to. We're still going to whoop your ass. With that being said, I am a little scared that this is like their first big test. But I'm going to ride with J.J. McCarthy simply because I think this Michigan team is the same as the Ohio State team with a better quarterback, and Ohio State went in and covered. Speaking of Ohio State, Penn State, the line 45.5 was the same for that game, and it went well under. I'm going to take this game to go under as well, and I'll take Michigan at -4.5. Josh, where are you at?
Yeah, I was going to bring up the exact same point on the total. I just we have the number 1 versus the number 2 defense here. I highly doubt neither shows up, and I think it takes exactly one of them to show up for that to go under. As far as the game goes, I really, really want to be on Penn State, but the QB inexperience on their side really scares me. Versus JJ, who's what's up?
Bedard just scored his second goal of the game. Just putting it out there. Dude's on fire right now.
It's hot. That's hot.
I bet's hitting, baby.
Dude's on fire right now.
L to the spreadsheet.
But JJ's like silently having a a Heisman candidate-esque season. I mean, of course, it's against a bunch of cupcakes. We've been saying that all year. If they come out and beat Penn State, they'll solidify their spot in the top 4 for the time being until they do meet up with Ohio State. Earlier in the week it was 5.5. We're still on the right side of 3, which kind of makes me want to go Penn State. As much as I hate to do it, though, I think I'm going to have to go Michigan, -4.5.
Yeah, I figured
this be Parker.
Pretty split.
We're tied.
Yeah, well, not for very long. Michigan should beat Penn State. Honestly, hot take, I think Michigan's way better than Ohio State. I think they got more weapons and they're at a seniority level that's there over Ohio State. Both their running backs have just been putting up spectacular numbers again this year, and J.J. McCarthy can just read. As of right now, it's just looking like he can read the field very well, and he can throw really good balls. It is going to be a defensive battle, but I do think Michigan does cover it and wins. Gets to 4.5.
Tyler or Clark, I'm interested, Tyler or Parker, since the 3 of us are on Michigan, does it scare either of you, the 4.5? Would you rather buy 2 points and get it under 3 just in case?
No, I think Michigan could win this game by 10.
If I'm going to buy it down to
be honest, I think
well
Michigan could win this beat by 10. Yeah.
I was about to say the same thing. I know I'm on Penn State here, but if I was betting on Michigan, I'd be happy with more points. I'd take 6.5 even.
Yeah.
Because I'm not scared of that. I don't like if you're going to buy it down to 2.5, your line is going to be just absolutely no value left in it. For a game that is already scary to take a side. So I'll take my 4.5 and ride with it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Saturday morning this is a 3.5er. If this is a 3.5er, we could definitely see that, and then you have something to say for buying it down to 2.5. But right now, buying 2 points is far too many. Let's go to a game that I don't think we will be on different sides of at all. Number 21, Arizona, the Cats going into Colorado +10.5. Parker, this was your parlay pay pig last week against the Kool-Aid you were drinking all year long. This is like beginning of the year Kool-Aid to end of the year Kool-Aid. Which pitcher are you drinking out of?
The beginning of the year Kool-Aid tasted pretty nice, but I don't know. This new Kool-Aid that I found, this Wildcat Kool-Aid,
way better than red Kool-Aid.
This Wildcat Kool-Aid that I found right now, It's pretty tasty, and I think I might snag a few of you along, and I think a few of you are going to take it with me. I like Arizona right here. I do like Arizona to win, although 10.5 is a lot for both the teams. Like, I understand, like, Colorado's got a fast-paced, spread you out offense, and I don't know how well Arizona's defense will respond to it. But I mean, they did show face against USC, which does moderately the same thing. But I do like Arizona. Give me Arizona on the spread as well.
Josh, what's his name? The quarterback, what's his last name? Give it to me.
Fafita.
All right, if Fafita could take a dog piss on USC's defense, he's going to have a fucking field day with this Colorado defense. It is the Aldi brand USC defense. I don't know why they keep rolling defense out there at all. Just go fucking put Travis Hunter, Shitter, and Shiloh out there again. Because, like, those are the three guys you have on your team. You don't really have anything else right now. So I'll be riding with you, Parker, at 10.5. This is a line I could see you saying, sure, let's buy this down to 9.5. But I do feel comfortable with that 10.5. And I think this 54.5 is going to get the roof blown off of it. I think this game is going over all day long. 54.5 seems really low for, what's his name?
Fafita.
Against this dog piss defense and Shitter Sanders having a fucking battle like he always does. So over 54.5 here for sure. Josh, what do you think?
First off, I would like a little bit of credit when it comes to this Arizona Kool-Aid. I'm the one that put all you fuckers on this originally. Yes, I was. I was the first one to start talking about Fafita, Parker. I was.
When?
Like
we can timestamp it.
Like 3 weeks ago.
He was.
Thank you.
I'm giving Josh this one. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Parker.
he did talk
and
about
that
it.
pains me to do.
Yep. It was the USC game specifically. It was the USC game specifically. Anyhow, yeah, Fafita's not gonna not win this game by 2 touchdowns. The kid's a phenom. I'm telling you, I said a few weeks ago it might be his junior year when he has a shot at the Heisman. At this pace, it might be next year. The kid has me all the way in on these Wildcats. Tyler likes the over here, and I like the over. The only thing that scares me is the Cats are 1-8 on totals all year, and the Buffs don't exactly hit their totals either. They're 4-5. And Arizona's got a sneaky good D. They're 34th in points allowed, and they're 35th in yards allowed. So Colorado's been banged up the last few weeks. I just don't know, man. In my notes I have over. I don't really want to put it out there into the world and like endorse it, but I will endorse Arizona minus 10.5. Ethan, do you got anything here, buddy?
I like Arizona minus 10.5. I was, like I said, I was with Parker at the bar watching Arizona. That was the first time I've watched them all year. And to say they looked good would be an understatement. I mean, they looked fucking awesome.
I want Wildcat football in my veins, bro.
Yeah,
I swear I do.
And that's a state that needs good football. To be 100% honest with you, that is a state that needs good football because you have
need good sports.
You have a struggling NFL team. You have a struggling NFL team. You have a struggling college team in ASU inside of Phoenix. Grand Canyon doesn't have a football team. So you're stuck with the University of Arizona trying to pick up the slack in football. And I think that they are doing it. I think they have the chance to continue to do it very well. So give me Arizona at minus 10.5. The one thing I disagreed with you guys is the over-under. I did like the under. I do see this being like a 35-ish to 10-point-ish game. Like I think Arizona will kick the shit out of Colorado's defense.
Dude, yeah, Arizona's got a sneaky. Yeah, no, you're right. I'm with you. I could see it doing that. I mean, Arizona's got a sneaky good defense. They've put a lot of. They can get some stops out there.
Dude, it's the thing. Like I said, they're 1-8 on totals this year, and but the only thing is, the only one that went over was against USC, which was another team with a high-powered offense and an awful defense.
That's the only reason I'm taking it. Because even if, like, we all know Fafita's going to score points, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's say the kid gets me 35. I need Shiloh to get 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals. I think Arizona's got a good defense, but I still think Colorado is going to move the ball a little bit.
Yeah, I mean their defense has given up 3 touchdowns a game, on average. That's their numbers. So, if Fafita can find what would you say, Tyler? 35? I mean that'd be a little over their natural total of 30. But
what'd they put up on USC?
41. I was about to say that.
Yeah.
Like I said when I was talking to Laura, I'm gonna stay off of it. It just scares me.
They picked a good number.
They did pick a good number. If this was 5 points lower, I'm on the over. It's 5 point under higher, I'm smashing the under. Yeah. So I think we're all on Zona there, and then sounds like the 4 of you are probably split on that total, and I'm off of it. So I would advise caution. But let's go to another game out west. Another one in contention for the best game of the week. The 18th ranked Utes going into the 5th ranked Washington Huskies, our boys. They're laying 9.5. Tyler, these are 2 of your darlings, man. How do you pick between 2 of your favorite children?
I don't know. You fucking leave one in the car while it's floating down the river, and you take the other one out with you. Personally, I take the better looking. The better looking one, and that's Washington right now. I understand that Utah's got a good defense, and I understand that they just hung up a lot of points last week. My thing is Washington is my team of destiny this year, and this game is not being played in Utah, so they're not going to have the home field advantage, and we showed even that got exposed against Oregon. Granted, Oregon does have a better defense than this Washington team does, but I think Penix is going to come out. I think it's going to start a little slow. Utah's defense is going to show up, but I think in the long run, Washington's going to have too much time of possession, and they're going to wear down this Utah defense. Sorry, I just saw a spider crawling on my wall, and I'm gonna fucking genocide that thing when I'm done with this take. But go ahead and give me Washington minus 9.5.
It's 8.5 now. I'm sorry, it moved.
8.5, perfect.
Yeah, even better.
I'll take Washington at the 8.5. This total 49.5.
It's gone down 4 points since Tuesday.
I want to say it's going over, but at the same time, Utah does have a decent defense, and this could be one of those chippy games like Washington had against Arizona. So I'm going to go ahead and say Washington on the spread, and I don't want the total on this game. You guys go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead with my genocide. I'm gonna commit a war crime here on this thing. Go ahead, boys. Parker, give me your take.
Yeah, I'm with you, Tyler. Give me the Huskies. I don't see. I mean, they just look like a team of destiny. You're right. But yeah, Michael Penix has shown what he can do against a good defense. I mean, they put up 41 against Oregon, so I mean, there's that. I think Utah can maybe hang in there. I'm with y'all, or I was with that take of like they might put up a few because Washington's defense isn't the greatest. But I could see this being like a 40-20 game, 40-17 game. But yeah, give me Washington. Give me the points, 8.5 or minus 8.5. Go Huskies.
Okay.
I'm almost never on the over under. And for the last game I'm not on this one. I do really like Washington over. Or sorry, not over. Washington minus 8.5. Especially now that was bought down a point since we originally wrote our rundown. You're giving me an extra point for a game that I think Washington was already going to win by 9.5 personally. The game that, or the part of this game I think I like Washington with is they don't want to be number 5. They want to be in the top 4. And tell me if I'm wrong, but they really want to be in the top 4. This team is ready for a playoff. They are hoping at least that Penn State can put up a really good fight against Michigan, because I think that that's their best chance of getting in, especially this week, is they can show they can show the CFP that this is what they want, or this is the team that they want in the Final Four.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna agree.
I
with
agree
that.
with you.
Man, I wish you were right, E. The thing is, the CFP they're just not consistent on what they want. You know, they're like Ohio State at 1 is completely off resume, but then Michigan's off eye test. Georgia, they maybe have a resume built enough now to where you can say, okay, that's fine. And then FSU feels like an eye test to me. I mean, outside of the LSU game week 1. So it's like, are you using resume or are you using eye test? Like, I would like the consistency to be there. And honestly, either way, though, I don't see how Washington's not in there, especially after beating USC. Like, it's pretty absurd to me that they got left out this week. I'm honestly pretty heated about it.
It's because USC's been on a loss streak.
It doesn't matter, man. When
True.
you look that good.
Yeah.
My thing is they're just strictly waiting until the loser of Ohio State Michigan, and they're gonna pitch the loser of that game out the fucking door.
Yeah. Yep. So I would agree with that.
I think as long as Washington just handles business, even if this was a 6-point game, I think they're gonna still see, okay, they faced a ranked team. Yes. And then as soon as, because you're not kicking out undefeated Washington and putting in 1-loss Ohio State or Michigan. Ohio State has a better case for it, but Michigan, if Michigan loses to Ohio State, Michigan cannot be in because their schedule has been so fucking pissed. And if they lose to Penn State this week, they're definitely out.
Yeah.
Josh, have you given a take for this yet or no?
I have not, no.
Okay, I'll let you go first.
I think it's pretty obvious. I'm obviously on the Dogs.
Yeah.
You know, I'm obviously on Washington minus the 8.5. When I did my little notes on Tuesday, this line was 54 or 53.5, and I liked the over. So at 49.5, I'm definitely gonna take the over. Do you have anything on the over, Clark? Or
yeah, so I'm also taking Washington on the spread. And I don't know. I just kind of have a feeling. I think this game's going to be a little bit scrappier than what we're expecting. I think there's going to be points scored, but I'm honestly going to take the under here. I think this is it's right there on the edge. I could be swayed.
My thing is
take
like
the over.
I can see where you guys can see this going under, because I can see the world where it does go under.
Mm-hmm.
But what's directly in front of that in my mind is the fact that Washington can hit the over on their own. I think it's completely possible that happens. I mean, even if it doesn't, they put up 36 on Oregon, so you need Utah to put up 14 against this bad defense, which they've shown they can do.
That's fair. Let's go to a game that I think we're entirely in agreement is not going to go over. I think this line is berserk. Number 13, Tennessee at number 14, Mizzou. Plus 1.5 for Mizzou at home. Like we said, the total 57.5. I don't want to pick a side. If anything, I'll lean towards the under here, but if you're making me pick a side, I'm going to go with Tennessee. Not because I think they're the better team, but because I think Missouri just got thumped by Georgia, and they're going to have a lot of like banged up guys, might have hurt pride a little bit there. So I would lean Tennessee for that reason. Mizzou does have this magic of winning games at home for some reason. Really weird football environment in the state of Missouri. I don't understand it. Those neighbors to our south in Iowa, like those guys are getting fucking weird. But I'm going to go ahead and go Tennessee minus the 1.5. If anything, I would throw a money line, and I definitely would not parlay that with anything. So go ahead and give me Tennessee Give me the under. Josh, you perked up when I mentioned this going under. What do you think?
Oh, I have no clue. I'm not touching. I'm not touching the total on this one. I can't get a read. I mean, they both go over more than they go under. But when the SEC starts creeping close to 60 and it's not like Dynasty Bama or Georgia, I start kind of raising an eyebrow. So, but I mean, there are a couple of good offenses, so it could. But Tennessee also makes their money on the ground, so that kind of tells
Same
you it
with
probably
Missouri.
won't. Yeah, so that kind of tells you the clock's gonna be running. It probably won't, but I don't. And then you got a top 25 defense for Tennessee and a top 50 for Missouri, or right at that 50 number for Missouri. It scares me, so I'm not gonna touch it. When I was doing my little look ahead, I was kind of leaning Mizzou for some reason. I don't know. You know, they've just looked good. You know, they hung in there with Georgia. They're the first SEC team that Georgia's played that where everyone's like, okay, this should be like a little tally mark for them that Georgia didn't cover against, and I think that is probably like worthy of recognizing and saying, okay, you guys can hang into games, but if they hang in the game, they're going to win the game on the money line, so probably take them on the money line there. I had Mizzou plus 1.5, but I think I'm gonna flip just looking at these numbers. Tennessee is just better in every aspect, is what it comes down to. So I'm gonna go Tennessee minus 1.5 with you, Tyler. Parker, I'd love to hear what you're thinking on this game.
It ain't about the numbers. It's about the heart. You know what that heart does down in Missouri? It wins football games. Wow, I mean, hey, whoa, you said it, not I. But they didn't win football games. They find a way, they dig deep, they play teams tough. Missouri comes to play tough football. I was like, I'm with you, Josh. It's like, why do I like this Missouri team so much? Is it because they have the thicker kicker at Mevis back there? Is that why why you guys are fans? Or is it because they know they somehow, out of the blue, they don't got good corn, they don't got good anything, and somehow they found a football and they were like, Kansas City's pretty good at this thing. Maybe we should try.
I've heard there's some
I don't know.
crack in the St. Louis area,
but that's the rumor.
Hey, that's your word. I don't know. I've never been down there.
It's a rumor.
But anyways, I think I'm gonna go against you guys. I'm gonna take Missouri with the points at plus 1.5.
I don't blame you for that, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, Tyler. I think this game would be a close game. I think it's going to be a close game. So I would stay away from it in a parlay. But if you want to look to like boost it and you want to like make a big change in your parlay, this could be a game that you just need. It's going to be one of those games where you just gotta pick one and stick to your heart no matter what. It's a do or die. Just because I mean, it's one of those
way or
weeks.
The other, whichever one you're on, if for some reason you are putting this into a parlay, just go money line with it. Give up the couple points with Tennessee.
Yeah.
Take the few extra points with Missouri, and then lay with it. If it's a 1-point game, that's gonna fucking suck for you.
Exactly. Like it sucks if you get beat by a field goal, but like I think it's gonna be a good close game.
Parker, yeah. I agree with your take there, though, that if you can find the right side of this game, it is going to take your parlay odds through the roof. Yeah. But
it will.
You gotta have some stones on you to parlay a game like this. So I know Parker will, because that's just what he does. Will. So let's see if
that's what I did last
keep
week.
That magic going.
Yeah,
Clark,
Parker.
Do you have a stance on this one, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna side with Parker here. I'm not gonna take him on spread. I think it's just smarter to take him plus 104 on the money line. I think Missouri can win this game straight up. I'm definitely gonna watch this game. And you guys were talking totals here, weren't you?
We're all off of it.
Yeah,
you'd be the one on.
I didn't really.
I'm taking a stance, and I'm taking the under here. I'm hammering it, and I'm.
What is it again?
57.5.
I would take the under as well. I mean, we both said it. They're both running offenses. So, I mean, I just think
Tennessee Bama was what, 54 points? I think I saw.
Bama was 54, yeah.
54 points. If they couldn't put up and it's 57.5. It's gonna go under.
But Bama's defense is
It's
sneaky
different.
top 20. Bama's
Yes.
defense is sneaky top.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't think it is this year, but it is.
Clark,
That was
I
a
would
top
go. I
25
would agree
defensive
with you.
battle.
I'll take the under.
I like the under here.
And we're gonna backdoor Mizzou because I'm going with those Mizzou boys as well. I mean, I like them at home. I like them especially at home, is what I should say. They've shown to me that they can compete with all of the other SEC teams. So them playing against Tennessee, I am curious to see what they do, obviously. But I actually like the money line. So obviously, you guys said it earlier. If you're gonna go pick any part of this game, go with the money line. I like the Mizzou money line.
I'm not gonna lie. I hope I'm wrong on this one, just because Mizzou's a fun team to watch, and if they're X-2, they're gonna get a better bowl game, and there's more reason to watch. Plus, Tennessee might, if they get down by 10 in the last 5 minutes, they might pull their guys and kind of keep guys healthy for Georgia next week. But
speaking of Georgia, let's move to number 9, Ole Miss, coming into number 2, Georgia. Georgia is 10.5-point favorites against Jackson Dart. The total's 58.5. Josh, I'm going to go with you first here. Oh, actually, Clark, you seem opinionated.
Clark
so
piped up.
I'm just saying that's too many points. This Ole Miss team has been good this year, and I am taking Ole Miss plus 10.5. Josh,
and the under.
Go.
If Ole Miss couldn't cover against Alabama, what makes you think they're going to cover against Georgia?
Georgia doesn't
Fuck
cover.
The dogs.
Georgia does
home.
not cover. Georgia physically doesn't cover.
I'm not against it. I can see the argument why.
I don't think Ole Miss wins.
Ole Miss has a good defense, right? But I just don't know if their offense
Ole Miss's
can
offense
really
is way better than their defense. Top 20
but
offense.
this Georgia defense is pretty stout.
Oh, Georgia's top 10 in all aspects. I mean, Georgia's
exactly. That's
team.
what I'm saying.
Georgia
I just think,
is the better team.
But if you want to say, oh, well, their Ole Miss's offense isn't as good as their defense, that's just statistically incorrect.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've just watched them in a few games where they've laid an egg, and it's just kind of like, how are they going to react against this Georgia team, who's a really hard physical team?
Well, they're 6-2 against the spread right now.
6-2
So
and
I mean,
1.
6-2-1, and Georgia's 3-6. I'll take my chances with Ole Miss.
Yeah, I'm going with you guys on that one strictly because I've lost too much money this year saying Georgia is going to cover. This is their week, blah, blah, blah. I thought they were going to do it to Missouri. They did it. I like this Ole Miss team more than Missouri. I think they're going to hang in there. This seems like a game that Lane Kiffin's going to get up for. He's going to have his guys up for and say, let's go take it from them. Fuck these guys. I'm tired of them being the big dog. This guy just kicked the fucking kid off his team for taking a 2-week mental health break. So if that doesn't say dog, I don't know what does. So go ahead and give me Ole Miss and the hard ass vibes this week plus 10.5. Might regret it, but fuck it. That's what I'm going with. And I think I'm going to go with the under here as well, but I won't actually bet it. That's just my lean.
Lane Kiffin said, fuck you and your mental health, kid. Kind of a bad look in today's day and age, but
fuck them.
Do your shit,
You guys just don't want to get coached hard anymore.
Send him to Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
I think the hook bites the books this week. Honestly, I think their little handicapping with their hook is going to get them on this Ole Miss plus 10.5. I like it a lot. I don't know why. The only thing that kind of gives me pause is Ole Miss is officially dead. They're 8-1 overall, but there's no path for them outside of Auburn doing another kick 6 like they did a decade ago to Alabama for them to get into the SEC championship game. If they weren't stone dead, they might rally and get this outright. That's probably not gonna happen though. But I like Ole Miss plus 10.5. Give me the hook. I'm not touching the total.
Ole Miss made me some money last week. They made me sweat for it. They made me some money last week though. However, I'm not gonna go with those dickheads for doing that to me last week. So give me Georgia minus 10.5.
I'm with you.
Right.
All right.
So it sounds like we're a little split there,
Little
but
3-2 split.
We'll see what comes out on top. Moving on, let's go check out Duke visiting number 24 UNC. UNC and Drake May are 14.5-point favorites at home. Duke is with their backup quarterback, so they do not have Riley Leonard playing in this one. With that being said, I think Duke keeps this close for some reason. Duke does have a good defense. I don't really know what UNC is playing for still. But it's hard to bet against a backup quarterback going against Drake May, my sweet, sweet boy. So go ahead and give me Drake May and UNC. Probably going to buy this down to like 13.5 though, instead of playing that hook. Hopefully the line just moves like that before Saturday for me anyway, but I'll go ahead and say minus 13.5 right now. So, and then the total, not touching it. This could end in a 10-7 game, or this could be a 90-point total. So, not touching the over of 50.5.
I agree with you. I'd take this at 13.5. 14's a little. It's the hook, like you were just saying. I don't like it. I'll take 13.5.
I like that hook, Clark. Both Clark and Ty. I like that 13.5-point hook. UNC has been, other than that one game where, we all bet on them and they got absolutely smoked. Or what was it? They had a 24.5-point favorite spread and they lost.
Yeah, it was against Virginia.
Yeah, other than that one game, they still look good this season. My issue is you guys all were on Duke all year. I think that they have looked like dog shit all year. So give me UNC minus 14.5.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ethan. The rest of the squad did talk about Duke. I'm with you. I didn't really see it. I'm not seeing it. I mean, I know they were fancy one game that I was watching, but like they haven't really gave me that shock factor like Kentucky did or Missouri did.
Sorry, they've just been a different team without Riley Leonard. Yeah. So I agree with you guys with that. Like, while we were talking about him, there was Riley Leonard. Now he's not. This team kind of has lost their juice. I'll agree with you.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I didn't watch enough games with this quarterback to see some of the highlights of them, but North Carolina should handle it. Yeah, like you said, it was a rough couple weeks ago for them, but I think that kind of humbled them, and now they're going to start getting back into it and playing like how they were at the beginning of the year. So give me UNC minus 14.5. It might be scary, but I don't know. It should happen. Josh?
Yeah, you guys are saying you hope this comes down for you naturally by Saturday morning. This line's done nothing but go up. It started at 11.5. It's done nothing but rise. You can hope maybe people hop on the Duke train in time to get it to come down, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. I do like UNC at minus 13.5, but honestly I kind of like them wherever this goes. The only thing that does kind of scare me is Duke's defense is no joke. They're 9th in points this year. They're a bend don't break, but they really don't even bend that much. But Drake May, I mean, the way Crybaby Williams is playing, he's bidding for that number 1 overall pick. So he's got to keep coming out and looking good to secure it. End up on my Bears. So yeah, give me UNC. I'm not going to touch the total. But, talking about Crybaby Williams, let's go to his game this week. unranked USC at number 6 Oregon and Big Show Bo. Parker, I know you love Big Show Bo. What do you got?
Give me Big Show Bo. Come on now. What do you mean? I don't hate Big Show Bo. I mean, he has no showed a lot of times I've bet on him, and that makes me weary of no show Bo, but I am an Oregon Ducks fan. You can throw that back to D'Anthony Thomas. Look it up. But no, I think Oregon handles business. I think they give USC, what is it? Would it be their third loss in a row or fourth loss in a row?
I think it'd be fourth.
I think it'd be four.
No, sorry, the fourth out of the last 5. They had a cupcake against Cal that they won by 1 point.
Yeah. But no, I do think that Oregon gives USC their fourth loss. I think Oregon's just they are the better team, just like how I said UNC got humbled. I think Oregon has kind of been refined after that loss against Washington. So I think they're going to be out and wanting to put up points against an opponent like USC. So give me the Ducks.
Okay.
What about you, Ty?
I still don't think Bo Nix is like an elite great quarterback. But
I'm not
speaking
saying
of that,
for the record, I'm not saying he is. I just like fucking with Parker.
I hate Bo Nix. Just because he's had games where he looks like a superhuman, and then I try to bet on him and he pisses down his leg. But Oregon has looked legit this year. I mean, I think like every kid does growing up, they see Oregon and they're like, "That's my favorite team" because I have those badass unis. I have
You're
this
a
sick
big
ass
Marcus Mariota guy.
Yes, bro,
big Oregon guy when Mariota
Dude,
was there.
The cleanest Oregon flat bill hat that I wore the shit out of in 7th grade. So I'm channeling that energy this week, and I'm going with Oregon minus the 14 and a half.
Gotta find that picture of you, your mirror selfie with that thing on.
Bro, chill. If that photo resurfaces, I'll be doing a Facebook Live, ending it all. 74 and a half is the total. It's going over that, strictly because Bo Nix will put a punishment on this USC defense. It's in Oregon. That helps them out. So Oregon minus 14 and a half. Give me the over, Clark.
I want to agree with you guys. But the only reason I'm going to take USC here plus 14 and a half is because the only time they've been beaten by that many points is against Notre Dame, I'm pretty sure. And every other time it's just been a shootout and they've been right there with them the whole time. And because of that fact, I'm taking USC. I think Oregon wins this for sure. But I think it's a shootout and USC sticks within 10.
Has USC faced a defense as good as Oregon's, though?
That's what I'm saying. I don't think USC is.
Or no, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I would give Utah it.
And Notre Dame. They're back in their Arizona, Notre Dame, Utah stretch when Caleb showed us that he's a fucking fraud.
So, is everybody on Oregon except you, Clark, then? Ethan, have we got you?
I don't think Ethan
Ethan hasn't gone yet.
Yeah, haven't hit me yet. I definitely like Oregon a lot more than USC. That baby back bitch that they have in Caleb Williams.
When he tries to me after a fucking football game and says, "I want to go home and cuddle my dog and watch my shows." Fuck you, bro. You want ownership of an NFL team? Shut the fuck up. Go fucking cry to mommy, you fucking baby back bitch. Sorry, Ethan. Go ahead.
All good. No, I think that it is very warranted to like Oregon significantly more in this game, and I feel like that spread could even be higher, and I'd still take it. So give me Oregon minus 14 and a half.
Yeah, I'm on Oregon minus 14 and a half. I'm on Oregon wherever this line goes. I really don't care. You're gonna have another no-show Caleb Williams game. The guy's a fucking fraud. He's gonna flop at the next level. I just know he will.
What do you got?
Total's kind of scary. I mean, USC's an over team, 9-1, but Oregon's got a good defense. When USA plays good defenses, they get held to like 20. So then you're asking Big Show Bo to put up like 50 something.
Look what he did last week against an atrocious defense. The dude scores points against bad defenses.
I know he does, and he does it. He did it against Colorado too. And it's Big 12 football, or Pac-12 football rather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This game's going over.
Give me the over. Give me Oregon. Give me the over.
Let's move down to Swamp here. We got Florida going into number 19, LSU. LSU is a 13.5 point favorite. Total 63.5. I think I'm just going to go with LSU here, minus 13.5. They've been hot. Their offense is really, really good. I don't know enough about Florida to really say anything negative about them. I did at the very beginning of the year talk shit about their quarterback and everything like that. Graham Mertz fucking still sucks, but they have a good rushing attack with ETN's little brother. So I don't know enough about this game, but my gut just telling me, like looking at it and saying, go with LSU, go with the proven team. So I'll go with LSU minus 13.5. Where are you guys at?
Go right there Tigers. Go Tigers.
Go Axe Tigers.
Go Axe Tigers. Go Axe Tigers.
No, I'm right there with you. I mean, I haven't seen anything from Florida this year. Graham Mertz isn't a great quarterback. He came from Wisconsin. Give me LSU here.
What do you think about the total, Clark?
What do we set at? 65.5? Is that what I'm seeing?
63.5.
I see 65 live.
Yeah. I'm seeing 65.5 as well. Give me the under. I don't think this goes over.
LSU still hasn't missed a total yet. They're 9-0. Florida's an over team at 5-3-1. Florida can't cover for their lives. They're 3-6 ATS. Give me LSU. Give me the over. Maybe look to buy this down a point to 13.5. Two touchdowns and a hook kind of scares me a little bit.
It is 13.5.
I got 14.5, but it's fine. Ethan, what do you think, man?
I do like LSU. LSU has been terrible for me this year, but Florida away really hasn't been any better for me. The one thing I guess I kind of do like, Josh, you said it earlier. I do like the over. Give me the over at 63.5. Give me LSU the cover and give me the over for the game.
All right, cool. So we got one more. We got number 8 Bama staying alive. They still got a chance. I mean, realistically, I think if they get into the SEC championship and beat Georgia, the committee's going to have a hard one on their hands. But it's number 8 Bama going into Kentucky. Kentucky's laying 10.5 or getting 10.5. Sorry, total 46.5. Tyler, you want to start us here?
That's a scary number, 10.5.
Right?
Kentucky's got a good rush game.
Yeah, Davis, boy's a freak.
Probably buy this one down a little bit, if anything, to 9.5. The book's got a lot of weird numbers this week that I've been saying we need to buy down, but I could see Bama covering this one. Again, they're still trying to fight and say, like, hey, if we dominate and win out and beat Georgia in the SEC championship, we should get in. I don't think Bama has a shot of getting in. That's just my personal opinion. I think even if Washington lost, they're a better one-loss team than Bama, and I think Oregon is currently a better one-loss team than Bama. So I'm going to go ahead and say Bama on the points this week, but
I hear you on that, but there's no way the committee leaves the SEC champion out. There's just no shot of it.
I mean, that's fair.
Clark, you got anything here, man?
Yeah, I agree. There's been a lot of weird numbers, like Tyler said. And it's just safer to put your money on Bama minus 9.5. I like that way more.
Sounds like we're kind of all on Alabama then, because I definitely am on Alabama. I do think that, though, this could be a closer game than expected. I do think Kentucky has a little bit more of an explosive offense. I think that they'll put up a few points potentially, but I know that Bama defense is pretty good. Bama has started to look like a Bama team who kind of knows how to play football, but I do like this Bama team. But the points kind of scare me. But give me Bama.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the injuries, and Devin Leary popped up on the injury report earlier this week, and it hasn't been announced whether he's playing or not. So that's kind of scary. That being said, I kind of really like the minus 10.5 now, for Bama. Does anybody have any thoughts on the total on this one? 46.5, or is it kind of?
Don't want to touch that at all.
No.
Yeah, I don't blame you guys. I really don't. But sounds like we're all on Bama minus 10.5.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
And this episode of Show Me the Money is brought to you by Tavern Sports, your place to get fun sports content, sportsbook lines, and parlays, and of course, food reviews with Big E's Ballpark Bites. You can now follow Tavern Sports on Instagram at Tavern Sports 2023. On TikTok, you can follow them at tavern.sports. And on Twitter, you can follow at Tavern Sports 23. You can also buy the t-shirts, the first ever pocket tee by Comfort Colors. That is on tavern-sports square.site. Or you can find the link in any of the bios on our social media pages. Going into the NFL talk, like I said earlier, we are already watching the Bears game, so shocker,
Another
they are
prime time
losing.
under in the making.
Yeah, shocking that they are losing. The primetime games. Primetime games are 22-7 this season when betting on the under, which is a heavy favorite. In the NFL,
it's what, over 75%?
Yeah, oh yeah, easily.
That's crazy. And then the NFL in general, Ethan, I think you were just about to get into it. The entire league's 83-52 on unders. That's 61.5. If you're just betting the under every game every week so far this season, you're making a lot of money.
Absolutely, and I think I'm going to start doing that for whatever reason. I haven't been doing it, and the sports books don't seem to be changing their mind on those lines. So I'm gonna start attacking that.
Yeah, I wasn't even aware of it until I saw some TikTok. I would like to give credit, but I don't have it. I don't know whose it was, but that's crazy to me, honestly. I mean, it kind of makes sense. I mean, if you look at fantasy points for the year, fantasy points are down.
Yeah.
Scoring across the league is down. It's kind of a weird year. I mean, a lot of injuries this year, so maybe that.
A lot more dogs on the field this year. How about maybe there's way more better players this year? I kind of honestly
way more better.
Yeah, way more better. I'm gonna say it. I don't care. No, I mean, to be honest though, a lot of teams are starting to find their niche in some players, and some players are starting to fill bigger roles, and a lot more teams are better this year than they have been. I mean, yeah, obviously we got our show ponies with the Panthers and the Bears hitting the bed, but a lot of those teams that were like really bad before these two teams became bad, they're starting to play at a way higher pace.
Would you say that some of these teams are way more better than they were last year?
Yes, definitely. They are equal then or greater to better.
Let's start this week then with a team that is way more better than they were last year. The Browns are visiting the Ravens, and the Ravens are 6-point favorites this week.
That's kind of
crazy. Where are you
guys? The Ravens have looked really good. I mean,
they have, but the thing,
but this Browns defense,
I was gonna get into that. Their defense has been like historic.
It is way more better than the Ravens defense.
Way more better than anyone else in the league. They've given up 500 less yards than the next best defense in this league.
And that scares me. I'll be honest. I would love to pick the Ravens right here, but this game it's tough.
Speaking of the Ravens, did you guys see who's gotten way more better since they left the Bears? Roquan Smith made the mid-season. What do you call it? Not Pro Bowl.
All Pro.
All Pro. Thank you. Yeah, he was a mid-season All Pro.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, but his first careers, I mean, he was still top 5 linebacker. Like,
he was
he was
already
exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
he was.
The fact that the Bears didn't pay him is wild. Then they paid a guy that was hurt last week, and he got. He's really not producing.
I'm just gonna say with this game, I'm not gonna take the -6. I'm gonna go Ravens, Seahawks, Bengals money line parlay. That's the only action I'm gonna lay on the Ravens is in that little money line parlay, and that's at like plus 155. So depending on where you get that, you can find it a little better. The lines might change a little bit by Sunday, so those odds could go up or down. But that's the only action I'm going to lay with this team. I don't think I'm going to lay the 6.
Do we know what it opened up at?
It opened at 5, so it's moved a point in the Ravens' favor. 5.5, so it's moved a point in the Ravens' favor. Still 60% of the money with the Ravens. And I get it. I mean, Lamar came out this week and apologized to fantasy owners saying, like, I know I'm not really putting up a lot of points. What do you want? We're destroying people. Like, and you're not going to put your show pony out there to get, and have them work extra hard and risk throwing out a shoulder or tearing an ACL in garbage time.
Do they do that against this Cleveland defense?
I don't think they do, but I also don't. I mean, it's an NFC North or it's an AFC North battle. That AFC North is so hard when it comes to playing each other. And aren't the Browns like? Isn't there some crazy statistic about the Browns versus the other AFC North teams?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen anything about it.
It was talked about when they played Cincy earlier this year. I just can't remember if it was just against Cincy or the entire division.
Mm-hmm.
With Tyler, I love the Ravens money line.
Mm-hmm.
But just the money line straight up's not going to pay you anything. I like the over 38.5's really low, which is kind of funny because we were just talking about how much the under's been hitting this year. But I mean, 39 points in an NFL game with Lamar Jackson playing football and the alleged 29 sexual assault man. I mean, that's pretty good quarterback play. So
yeah,
I'm with you guys.
Yeah, I don't like the spread at all here. It's just ugly. If it was 5.5, I would have taken it. If I saw that earlier in the week, I probably would have taken 5.5 for the Ravens.
Yeah, 2 field goals. That feels a lot more likely than a full touchdown to me.
Yeah, but as of right now, I like money line. I like throw it in what Tyler said. Throw it in like a 3-teamer money line, and hopefully it hits.
Yeah. The money line definitely is exciting, but there's just something about that Browns defense that screams like, "Hey, I can cover." And it's just that the Browns offense hasn't really shown out with their weapons that they have to be like, yes, they will cover or they will win or have that upset. But yeah, I think
let's move to the next game. I think we're all kind of probably stay away from the spread. Because you don't know what Cleveland's showing up.
Could be a stay-away game too.
Another one of the noon games is the 49ers going to Duval to play the Jags. San Fran's laying 3. The San Fran team's kind of taken a step back since starting the year out hot. Tyler, do you have any thoughts here?
Man, I have no idea on this game. I would like to say the Niners off of a bye week are going to come out hot and be game planned for this. As far as the side goes, not really leaning either way. I've been historically bad at betting NFL this year. So I'll just go ahead and say Christian McCaffrey touchdown and throw Parker.
Damn it, that's what I was going to say. The only thing you should touch is a CMC touchdown, and that's it.
Okay.
That's it.
If you guys aren't going to make a pick on this game, I guess I'll bite the bullet and pick a team here. I'm a big Brock Purdy guy. But I'm taking the Jags +3 here. I think the Jags.
That's the thing. I'm with you. The Niners have slowly started to kind of
3 straight.
decline, but them Jags are.
Well, and the Jags are doing the exact opposite. They started slow, and they're getting hot, just like Cincy, just like I told you guys Cincy would too, by the way.
Oh, I know. I knew they would.
Yeah, dude, the thing with Jacksonville is, like, are they ever going to get Calvin Ridley involved in any of the offense? I mean, I guess you could ask the same thing about the Falcons and Bijan.
Yeah.
1 carry inside the 5 all fucking year.
Travis Etienne is great. So, I mean, it'd be nice to see him get Calvin involved, but if you don't have to, you don't have to. If you're winning games, you're winning games.
Fair. That's facts.
I think I'm jagging off with you, Clark.
I think we're all jagging
Ethan's
off.
gonna jag off.
I'm jagging off. And I don't usually bet NFL because, similar to Tyler, I'm not great at it. However, I do like the Jags at home with 3 points given to them. Like that is, I think that's a healthy bet.
I think we might all look like fucking stooges at the end of the week.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
But I'm not gonna not jag off with you guys. I mean, it's Duval. It's the best chant in the league.
Dude, me and Tyler have been there. It's electric. But no, I'm jagging off with the boys. We're gonna watch this game, and
Tyler, you gonna jag off with us?
I mean, shit. If everybody else is jagging off, I might as well get my fucking little soldier in the ring with you. Little game of soggy 49er out here. Yeah, I'm jagging off.
Alrighty.
Two more NFL games to talk for us this week. We got Detroit going into SoFi to play the Chargers. Looks like the live line is 3 points even. Ethan, do you want to talk more NFL or do you not?
That's a strange game because I like the Lions. The Lions have been good to me this year when I have bet NFL. That's generally who I bet with, and they generally hit when I bet on them. So I think I'm going to go Lions -3.
I agree with you. This Chargers past 2 games, they've played the Bears and the Jets, and they're not good.
No.
And I trust this Detroit team way more than I trust this Chargers team. And I'm going to take Detroit here. And I do like to talk about a prop here. I like Eckler. Eckler touchdown here. Maybe even 2. I wouldn't be surprised. He's the guy to do it in the NFL if you're going to take 2 touchdowns.
Oh, 100%. I don't disagree. I mean, I'm not gonna put my name on that one, but I like the Lions here a lot.
Go ahead and sign me up for the Fighting Dans as well. Give me Dan
Fighting
Campbell,
Dan Campbells are electric, bro. They will win the North this year. They're gonna sneak their way into the NFC Championship game too. Honestly, I don't know if they can. I don't know if they can beat both the Niners and the Eagles, and I think they're gonna have to play both. I think they're gonna end up 1-2, and then these Lions will be 3, so they'll have to fight through one in the divisional and one in the championship. I just don't know. Now maybe if they can get 1 or 2 and then end up getting whichever one of the ones they have to play in the divisional round into the Motor City, then maybe those Lions fans show up. That could be an interesting one. But sounds like we're on the Fighting Dans.
Yep, we're all with them.
All right. The last one I want to talk about, and this is only because of recent news. Monday Night Football, Denver going into Buffalo. I don't know if you guys saw, but this afternoon, Latavius Murray, yes, that Latavius Murray, who's been on the Bills squad only this last year, called a players-only meeting. And teams typically, after they call players-only meetings, struggle in the next game.
So you're saying
you can't be calling player only meetings. Nobody fucking likes that shit. Like, get the fuck out of here. Who do you think you are, Latavius Murray? Stephon Diggs has been a 3-year captain. You have Von Miller, who's won Super Bowls. You got Poyer, you got Allen. Sit down, shut the fuck up. And if you get carried to a win, get carried to a Super Bowl, shut the fuck up, Latavius Murray. Do not be calling this meeting. Who do they got this week?
It's Denver.
Denver.
And Buffalo's looked. Obviously, Denver's not a good team. Don't get me wrong, but the Bills have looked bad recently. Like,
what's the number?
7.
Oh God. I mean,
and Denver
sign me up for
just
Buffalo
beat the
because
Chiefs.
sign me up for Buffalo just because they should, but I don't want to touch that game.
I'm not betting on it. I'm not comfortable with Denver, and I don't like the Bills, so just I don't want it.
I don't like the 7 points either.
Yeah, I'm not touching it.
All right, let's hop into a little bit of NHL talk. Blackhawks, I know a lot of you guys are favorite of them. I know especially Ethan and Cole are. Blackhawks are 4-7 right now. They are actually in the middle of a game right now. Connor Bedard's got 2 goals. Could potentially look for his first career hat trick here in the third period of that game. But look for the Blackhawks to be 5-7 after that. Bruins still dominant, 10-1-1, leading the East. The Rangers are right behind them. The goaltending from both those teams have kind of led them. They haven't necessarily been world beaters offensively, but between the pipes, they have just absolute rocks. So it wouldn't be necessarily a bad thing to go ahead and bet on them. Disappointing team so far this year in the West has actually been the Oilers at 2-8-1. They were coming in, they were actually like a Stanley Cup favorite. I don't know what's going on up there this year with those guys. They still have plenty of time to turn it around and sneak into a playoff spot. But just a very, very rough start for them. On the opposite of that, you have the Knights, who are leading the West, defending Stanley Cup champs. 11-1-1. Surprisingly, though, one of their losses to the Ducks, who aren't really like a crazy good franchise, and then the Kings, who this year have been playing really good defense. As far as betting this goes, I would say find your hot goaltenders and ride them. Swayman for the Bruins, Shesterkin for the Rangers, Sorokin for the Islanders. In the West, the Blues are a tough one. That's personally my team. You never know what offense you're going to get out of them, but Binnington has been sure between the pipes. The Dallas Stars with Otter in net have been electric. So I would just ride those guys so far this year. But there'll be more of this coming later, especially after football season, guys. We'll really try to dive into this when we're looking to expanding to like a second show. It's just kind of hard to tell you lines days in advance when we don't know who's going to be in net or who's going to be out. So I would say find those good goaltenders and ride with them. Don't be afraid to take 60-minute money lines on some of those bigger lines. But there's always good underdog opportunities out there, especially look for the Oilers right now. They can get hot at any time, and you'll find them as underdogs in some lines. But let's get into another sport that's kind of hard to give you guys pretty tough lines for. But again, we will be adding more to the show here after football season comes to a close, and that's NCAA basketball. What's up, Josh?
Yeah, I was just want to the only reason we're not gonna give picks on these or anything. It's just a couple top 25 matchups here early in the season. Like Tyler was just getting ready to say, we'll get into it more after the football season ends. Once they're a little deeper in the season, we know the good teams, we know the bad teams, we know the easy money to be made. Just a couple to look for tomorrow, Friday. Well, so today, when y'all are able to listen to this, number 12 Arizona is going to play at Duke, the number 2 ranked Blue Devils. And then Tuesday, you got kind of a triple header of top 25 matchups. You got number 2 Duke at number 4 Michigan State. That could be an exciting early season matchup. You got number 5 Marquette at number 25 Illinois. So the Big Ten is going to see a lot of top 25 action on Tuesday. And then you have the number 1 team in the country, Kansas, going into Kentucky. Also on Tuesday, Kentucky's ranked 16th. And then just a couple free money lines. WNCAA basketball, your number 3 Iowa Hawkeye women. They are at UNI on Sunday. and they play at K-State comes to Iowa City next Tuesday. Just take the Hawks at whatever the line is. Caitlin Clark will get you your money.
All right, let's get into our favorite session of the week every week. That is Lock of the Weeks. Cole's not with us this week. He is riding Michigan -4.5. Back to our favorite session of the week. That is Lock of the Weeks. Ethan, give us the season standings so far before we get started giving our picks out this week.
Season standings currently, of course, yours truly is up at the top at 8-2. Parker is right below me at 7-2 because he did miss week 1. Let's see what else we have. Tyler and Cole tied at 7-3, and Clark and Josh are down at the bottom at 6 and Clark is technically a half game ahead because he is 6-3-1. Josh, you are 6-4. So,
Hey, I'm passing. That's a D.
That's you're not wrong. I mean, and even if you're taking just your locks, Josh, like we're still winning. You're still.
And I'm giving out a lot of other ones. I'm just not getting. My locks just aren't very surgical. I mean, when you start with South Alabama,
fair point.
Hey, I will say this though. I mean, yeah, Air Force failed us pretty heavy last week. But I was surgical. I did not take them when they played against the Cowboys out of Laramie, and they didn't cover that one either. So, it's just luck of the draw most of the time, really. I mean, you can ask Tyler. I'm not the luckiest guy in the world, especially on the blackjack table.
Not one fucking bit.
Well, you take all my lucky douche, but
winners win, losers lose, baby.
Amen,
I win when Tyler's not at the table, man. I'll tell you what, I win a lot of money when Tyler ain't sitting there.
Shut the hell up and give us your pick. All right, okay. Josh, go ahead, lock.
Yeah, I'm locking up the Terps this week. Maryland -2.5 at Nebraska. Maryland, they do struggle to cover, but they are just so much better than Nebraska.
Parker?
Give me Rock Chalk versus them Red Raiders. Kansas -3.5.
Clark, where are you going?
We got BYU +7.5 at home, soaking out there in Utah.
Utah, Jesus Christ.
Ethan, where are you at here?
I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid from the first half anymore. I'm only drinking it from the second half. Give me Arizona -10.5.
Don't you mush my babies. Don't you do it.
Man, Parker stole mine, so I'm in hell. But Cole is riding with Michigan -4.5 against Penn State. I actually enjoy that pick a little bit. But my last minute on the fly, it pains me to do it. And I almost went with New Mexico State because of it. But we're not. We're not going to New Mexico State. I'm not dragging you guys into those weeds. You know what you do when a puppy's sick? You take him out back and you put him down. Washington is going to put down Utah this week. Washington minus the 8.5. And I hate to do it to my boys out there in Utah, but that's what we're doing. Let's get into my teaser for the week. We hit last week. We are officially profitable for the entire year. With that being said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm fixing it anyway. We're changing it up this week. We are going with an 8-leg, 9.5 point teaser at +650. I figured we're profitable on the season. We're profitable through the entire regular season. Let's start taking a couple shots. So we're going to go with that. Bama -1, Arizona -1, Washington +1, Texas -3, LSU -5, Oregon -5, and the last two are ugly, but they are what they are. Iowa +8 and Auburn +12. That is a 8-leg, 9.5 point for +650. Bama, Arizona, Washington, Texas, LSU, Oregon, Iowa, and Auburn. We all talked about Iowa Rutgers. If Rutgers is going to win, it's probably going to be by a field goal. If anything, it won't be by more than a touchdown. So that 8 clears us of that. Auburn's been turning it up lately, and Arkansas is just so hit or miss. So I feel really good about Auburn hanging in that game. I don't know about winning it, but definitely keeping it respectable, and plus 12 feels safe with that. So that's going to be Tyler's teaser for the week. Let's try to make some money. We've gave you guys all the picks. Now it's your turn to show me the money. Thanks for listening.
We out.